Maybe I will. All right. Cool. Farm for it. There. Okay. Just leave it for now. I got all my shit set up so like I can actually everything's on the TV, everything. So you want another reason why none of it worked? Or do you not give a damn?
Because you got shitbox computer.
One reason. Second reason. So it turns out my my antivirus software
Sucks ass.
wasn't even there. It was off. It hadn't renewed. So like yesterday when I did the Logical Senses podcast with Adam, I was looking for
I seen one of your posts. I was like, this fucking guy, bro.
which one? One about the guns? Yeah. They're all pussies. All pussies. Can't fight with your hands. Fucking pussies. All of them. Robbers and defenders. Pussies.
That's so funny.
Pussies.
That's a good joke.
But yeah, no, I was just looking at it and I was looking for
need it, then need it, not have it.
pussies. I keep saying
not
it.
Pussies, bro.
Anyway.
Like
I
ain't gonna get into it.
but no, so I was looking around for a adapter to be able to plug my microphone into my iPhone. Couldn't find one. Couldn't find one anywhere.
That shit exists.
No. No, they exist. They just I couldn't find them anywhere. I tried Target, they didn't have it. Went to Best Buy, they didn't have it.
Amazon.
I mean, Amazon has it, but I needed it for that day. Couldn't wait for them to. So I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I was like, I'll just bite the bullet and get the antivirus software. See if that helps out at all. If it doesn't, then I mean, obviously I know what I need to get. But came home, was fully expecting to have to drop like $120 or some shit, and fucking gave me 80% off. I only got it for 25 for the full year. So I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, I need my baby.
Got the dog. So I can't leave this in my car anymore. At least while I'm at work.
Yeah. It's gonna heat up and leak.
Not just leak, like
Get clogged.
a quarter of my shit fucking evaporated. I was like, I did not have half a fucking canister this morning. I was like, I had 3/4 and I get in and I'm like, half. What happened? It's all gone. You all evaporated and floated to the top of the thing right here. Now it's stuck in there. Fucking wild. So I'm just gonna leave it at home. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Yep. I was watching the race up at the property, and I was on my phone and was texting Marissa. And Mom goes, "The Mexican guy, the Mexican guy won." I was like, Checo? She's like, yeah, the Mexican. I'm like, Mom, why do you keep saying that? We're Mexican. Like, why? I was like, why do you keep saying that? She's like, because she's like, a Mexican won. Won the race.
And he just signed another 2-year deal. Fucking Joss is not happy about it. Unhappy Papa.
Who?
Unhappy.
Checo's dad?
Max's dad.
Max's dad is not happy. But why? Who cares?
Well, exactly. But he's also a sponsor, so things can get a little tricky with him and Red Bull. But the way fucking Checo's going, man, he's only 15 behind Max. Only 15 points behind Max, bro. So he's actually got he's got a good shot of challenging this year for a world championship.
I'm just saying, why wouldn't you want the two, some would say, top 10 racers in the game today on your team?
You want your son to be prioritized like he has been over the past, I don't know how many years.
He already is prioritized. He signed a 4-year deal.
Again, why wouldn't you want your son to have priority? I can see where Josh is coming from, but
Different
again,
mindset. I look at a competitive mindset. It's only good for Max. That's really what
it's
it
his
is.
son. What do you expect?
I get it's his son, but you got to look at it as like
if
if
you
my
were in that
son wants to
position,
be the best in the world, if I want my son to be the
no,
best in the world,
no. My son is already the best in the world. Hence the number one on his fucking thing. Why wouldn't I want him prioritized no matter what?
I mean, you have the Mexican
Again,
minister of defense
I
on
can
your
see where
squad
he's
too to
coming
help
from,
out.
but at the same time, like, shut the fuck up, dude, because like I know you're a concerned dad and you want your son to do great. You know, I get it, but
I understand where he's coming from, but shut the fuck up.
I mean, he was straight out of pocket. Like the shit he was saying. It's like Max had no shot of winning that race. You weren't gonna overtake anybody, you know. So he wanted them to wanted Checo to stay out another lap. It's like, no, bro. Like if they would have done that, Sainz would have been in front, and Red Bull would have lost the thing. But Perez is only 15 points behind Verstappen now, and it's like, you know what? If he can make a run
now
at
he's
it,
getting
which
a
he's
little
been consistently out qualifying Max and being right there with Max and challenging Max, especially in this car, you know.
I'm just saying, dude, it does nothing but make Max better. That's all it is. It keeps the competitive fire flowing.
Perez's form right now is just absurd. I mean, this guy is insane right now. He's going off.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
You didn't you call that earlier this year? You did, didn't you? You said Checo would. I was like, who do you pick? You're like, fucking Checo's got a good shot at doing it, maybe. And what? Lo and behold, look what we got.
He's right there with him. Like, there's no longer a
Is it the car or the driver?
Huh?
Is it the car or the driver?
The driver.
Fair enough.
Last year's car was Max's car. Max could deal with the high back end and everything and the understeer and all that stuff. Max could deal with that. You know, a lot of other drivers couldn't. But now we got all these new regulations and a brand new car, and Perez has adapted fucking perfectly.
Perfectly to the car.
And it's a great car. Like, it's not as fast, but again, it's a great car.
At least for the next 2 years.
Tire management sees him through to the end, bro. Like,
at least for the next 2 years,
he's consistently challenging that.
Max and Checo on Team Red Bull, which I'm all for. That's a great duo to have right there. Yeah. Especially if you're trying to compete for constructors' cups and shit.
And that's what Horner came out and said. He said, you know what? I don't care who the world champion is. Constructors is,
I don't give a fuck if you're 1 and 2. I don't care.
Exactly.
I don't care who it is.
He doesn't care. Whoever has, the most points or whatever, if they're 1 and 2, he's 100% going to let him race. And he should. And if he doesn't, I mean, that would be the biggest travesty of all time.
I mean, you're having the 2 guys that are competing for the world championship are on your team. It's like guaranteeing you a constructor's title.
It's a Nico Rosberg and Hamilton situation, except Perez, I don't think is going to go anywhere. Nico Rosberg had to hire a therapist to beat Hamilton. So, and when he did beat Hamilton, it was like,
hold on,
I don't want to do this anymore.
No, hold on. We're not going to walk past that like you didn't just say that.
What?
The man needed a therapist.
Yeah, bro. He hired himself a therapist. He completely shut out his family. It literally took everything he had to beat Hamilton that year. And he beat him. And then after that, as soon as he crossed the race line, he even said it himself. As soon as I made my decision to retire, as soon as I crossed the finish line.
As soon as he beat him in that one race, fuck it, I'm done.
No, as soon as he beat him in the world championship.
Oh, okay.
Nico won it. He won it, and then he was like, I made my decision as soon as I crossed the finish line. He said it took everything I had. it took time away from my family. I had to hire a mental therapist. You know, it did. He's
That
like,
shows
I
you.
didn't want to do that anymore. He said,
That shows you how good Hamilton is.
Yeah, make no mistake. I mean, they were both in Silver Arrows, but like back when Silver Arrows were, I mean, nobody was faster than them. Period. It wasn't a. I mean, the shit that Mercedes had achieved with that car was insane. So,
fucking wild.
but I think if Perez stays on his form and keeps doing what he's doing, I think we look at it's going to be.
Well, so then what's going on with Ferrari? It's like already talking about like Leclerc seemed pretty upset
Well,
at the
yeah,
end of the whole thing.
He literally got fucked on strategy. Ferrari handed Red Bull the fucking win. He got fucked with his pants on. Like
when they pitted at the same time.
They pitted at the same time instead of staying out, and Leclerc would have been having the lead, could have built his time, pitted, and then came out on top. Or at least they should have kept signs out, and then had Leclerc pit.
Bold move there, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
You know, Leclerc was turning into the pit lane, and he gets a call from his engineer telling him to stay out. So if I'm Charles Leclerc, I'm having a fucking fit.
Fair enough.
That's 2 weeks in a row that Leclerc got shitboxed, bro. Like,
it was also true. That is also true. Well, see where K is at real quick. Okay, you in. No comments. So what's up, man? Were you gonna stay for the conversation or?
probably not. I'm gonna go cook dinner and shit.
Oh, shit.
But we need to hurry up and go before he gets on. Because if we're having a 20-minute conversation.
Well, you and I could go on about this for at least a half an hour. But all right, fuck it. Let's just start it off whenever K gets in. He gets in. 5, 4, 3, 2. Well, Monaco was full of surprises in Formula One.
A lot of red flags. Fuck.
I am possibly an NBA guru, especially for calling these playoffs. And Tank Davis puts Rolly Romero to fucking sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All Pro JAFFO's, a Tornado Bros Productions podcast, where we bring you the highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan. I'm your host, JP. Alongside me this week, and probably a little bit later, would be Country K. But right now, the quarterback, Sunshine Caleb. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
This episode brought to you by Popple, the #1 business card platform for teams and individuals. To go to popple.co and use the promo code PBP family for 25% off at checkout. And Popple, we help professionals network better. Country K's Zoom is updating right now. Oh, it already did update. Let me get him in here. There he is, of course, with the Shannon Sharp right on time. Of course. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the
My Zoom had to update. I messaged you.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. The 6'10" beast from the southeast, Mr. Country K.
Konnichiwa, people.
With the birdies in the background. So again, I said in the beginning of the thing. Oh, and I forgot to mention in the intro. Later on in this episode at 5:30, we were coming to you live at 5 early this time. So at 5:30, we have the head writer and editor for BoxingInsider.com, It'll be Hans. Let me not butcher his name. Temistode is how you pronounce his name. Hans Temistode, the head and writer and editor for boxing.com, is going to hop on with us for a little bit, talk about this past weekend's fights and a little bit about his story of how he got to where he's at. So stick around for that. But for right now, again, Monaco was full of surprises. Nonetheless, Checo gets the checkered flag.
Winning for the Mexicans.
It's a one for the Mexicans.
Yeah.
Comes in. We had been talking about him all year. Sunshine's been very high on him. And as you guys can remember, in the beginning of the year, he did say Checo would be a very good contender for going after the world championship. And he showed that over at Monaco this weekend. Red Bull went 1-3 with signs at 2.
Sir.
Ferrari at 2. So damn near max points for that. Just getting him closer and closer. Now Checo's 15 points away from Max in the world championship standings. The big thing throughout this race, and Sunshine and I were talking about it a little bit before we officially started the show. Ferrari basically handed Red Bull the win
100%.
there at Monaco.
100%. Ferrari shit the bed. Yeah.
They double pitted, and it gave Red Bull basically enough time to just.
It's track position, homie. That's all it is in Monaco. Because 100%, you could just stick that car right in the middle of the road. Nobody's passing you. You can go as slow as you want. Doesn't matter.
And there were some other things that were in this race that was one, I didn't know it was a thing. But apparently if it's on the streets, like if it's at an actual race circuit, they probably still continue on with the laps.
Yeah. But
since they were actually in the streets of Monaco, there's a time limit. The community's got to get back up and running again. So I believe it was the 30th lap, the rain in Monaco was just, it's stupid. Just absolutely insane. Torrential downpours. You could not race, even with the wet streak tires and everything. You could not do it. They red flagged them for a little while because you guys you and Corey had eventually just said, fuck it, we're going to the movies.
Well, it wasn't even that. We had our tickets, since the Tuesday or whatever, but
you thought the race
we
would be
did not
over
expect that many red flags, and we were sitting there checking, the Monaco weather and everything, and just to make sure, and ended up delaying the start by like 30 minutes that they had delayed the start. And then
Mick Schumacher cut his fucking car in half.
And then exactly, Schumacher cut his car in half by,
I mean, I'm glad he's okay because I saw the wreckage initially. I was like,
it looks bad.
He's alive?
Yeah.
This dude's like, he's alive, right?
Probably one of the safest motorsports, though. I'm not going to lie. Out of all the motorsports, it's like, holy shit.
So it took him a while to get the debris out of the road and then to actually fix the barricade.
Yeah.
For the race. So instead of going by laps, they went on a time limit.
They had to.
They had to go on a time limit. So they ended up completing 66.
I believe it was 64.
64 completed laps in total.
What y'all talking about? 69.
Yeah.
It might have been 69.
It actually might have been 69. Like, to be completely. It actually might have been 69 laps that they completed. But after that, everyone got going. It was they didn't do it a stopping start or a stop start.
It was 64.
64? Okay.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious. That would have been absolutely hilarious. 64 completed laps. And then after that, like you said, the double pit by Ferrari was absolutely crucial. And you can hear Leclerc on the radio. He was not happy.
Fit. I would have a fit too. I'd be cursing out everybody. I'd be like, fuck you, Benito. Fuck you, Ferrari. Fuck all my engineers. Fuck everybody. Fuck the mechanics. Fuck this shit. I would have been so mad.
Just done. So I'm done dealing with your shit right now.
I would have said, fuck that.
It was, I mean, dude, it was pretty bad.
You.
Yeah, fuck you, fuck you,
Yep,
fuck you.
the
You're
team
cool.
boss, fuck
Fuck
the
you, I'm
CEO.
out.
I shit on Enzo, like fuck everybody. I understand. Like because
fuck that
I mean,
horse.
how are you gonna sit there, box and confirm, and then as soon as you take that right into the pit lane, they're like, stay out. Come on, man.
Like, what the fuck you mean stay out? I can't go out now. That's against the rules. I'm gonna get penalized for that shit. Oh man,
but, I mean,
yeah, that was a big ass faux pas.
That's 2 weeks in a row that Leclerc has gotten the fucking just the worst luck. I mean,
the other luck was kind of just one of those, lucky moments that just happened. This one, it was like his team, straight fucked him over on that. It had nothing to do with him or anything else. It was his team.
Got fucked with his pants on.
Yeah. No lube, nothing.
What?
Yep.
What?
Completely.
That's too aggressive.
Real shit though.
I mean, the whole video.
You said that's too aggressive.
Fuck with
No,
your pants
it's
on.
real, bro.
High level of, bro. You gotta think about it. It's either
you gotta think about
they're ripping the pants or the force is ripping his pants.
Exactly. Yeah, fuck it. That's what it is.
Trying to analyze the race. This Kay's trying to analyze the full on. You got to actually imagine the amount of force it would take. Oh my god. That's too aggressive. That's fucking funny.
I'm analyzing.
I'm
analyzing the conversation, the shit y'all saying.
I'm being a sports analyst.
I'm over here.
Here, let me.
Okay, don't know a goddamn thing about F1. I'm just listening to conversation.
Let me give you a comparison of what it'd be like, a football comparison. That fuck up was so bad that I can only compare it.
Quarterback hardcore over here. Quarterback hardcore fucking talk about fuck with the pants on.
Yeah, bro.
You have your hands in nuts all the time.
It's only comparable to fucking throwing the ball on the 1 yard line when you got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield for the
That's
Super
exactly
Bowl.
what I was going to compare it to. I was like, it was such a faux pas by the coach, by the staff and everything, that it was the wrong play at the wrong time type of thing.
Or the butt fumble, because honestly, at this point, I think that was an actual call that they called it. As bad as the Jets are, that was an actual play that they had called.
All right, you're going to run it straight into your tackle's ass, and then you're going to let it go, and then people are going to be talking about it forever.
Yeah. So much so that you don't ever have a career in the NFL again.
Rest in peace to Mark Sanchez's career. But so Checo gets the win. We're big happy about that. They actually let him race. They let him go. They let him,
Yeah.
What you can do is what you can do, and get it moving. Monaco being the highly anticipated.
It's the one race that every driver's dream to win. It's the biggest race of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, he's not the first Mexican to win at Monaco, is he? Or is he?
I have no clue. I'm not too familiar on the full-length history
of Monaco.
Yeah.
Although
I am down to go there and learn all that shit.
Well, it's just a matter of.
The thing that sucks though is that might have been the last Monaco GP that we ever have.
Really? I saw something about that. What's that all about?
Basically, the streets are too narrow and there's little to no overtaking, and we're getting so many races now here in America, because it's really traveling over here. We got Las Vegas coming and they just added the Miami GP, Austin, all that stuff. So, I mean, one of the tracks is going to have to go because you can't keep all of them.
Yeah, but I just don't see him get. I mean, I get
Monaco has such a rich history, as being it's Monaco. It's
you can't get rid of it.
It's
type of
always
thing.
been Monaco, but like that's the really only thing that you can say is, oh, it's just Monaco.
But I mean,
but as
it's one of those
as a racing aspect
of what it is as a circuit, sure. But when you talk about again the history of the whole thing,
yeah, exactly. You can
the amount of like races,
but that wouldn't yeah. It's just there's no little to no overtaking.
That's a tough decision.
There's little to no overtaking. You're on a time limit, which they're probably going to be on in Vegas as well because
it's in the street.
Well, see here, the thing about the Vegas GP is, so it being,
I don't think they'll time it, honestly, because
no, they have to, because the main straight is the strip, is the Vegas Strip. That's the main
big money maker for.
So, well, I mean, now you're going to have a lot of casinos vying for we want our casino to be the main attraction. We want all these things, but definitely there's going to be a time limit. But the thing about Vegas is that we don't really know if it's going to be a very good race, because for Monaco you have the winding turns, the slow corners, all that stuff. Vegas is built on a grid, a straight line grid.
Mm-hmm.
All the streets, it's a grid,
right? So
to turn that grid into a street circuit, the amount of construction and the amount of time and money that's going to go into this thing, we'll see.
I mean, Vegas has the money. Vegas has the money. Like they've been having the money.
Yeah, bro. But you have what? You have 3. I don't know how many freaking different. Donut Media had a video about this, but they were talking about how
I did look at the track and I was like, damn, this is a lot. There's a lot of straightaways, not a whole lot of like real tight turns.
No,
there's a lot of room for people to overtake.
But then, well, here's the thing: how wide is the track actually going to be? You know what I mean?
Well, if they're going down the strip, that's
it's not that wide.
That's 4 lanes.
It's not. I mean, it's 4 lanes, but there's a center divider. So really, it's only 2 lanes.
They would have to get rid of the center divide.
But you're not going to get rid of
to go from sidewalk to sidewalk
for one night, or for a weekend.
They might do it a permanent thing.
They wouldn't. I don't think they would.
I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to do some construction to get things done.
As far as grandstands go, and not covering, casino logos and all that stuff. Honestly, Vegas is a nightmare. Just when it comes to building a track and doing all of that, it's a nightmare. But I'm excited to see. Do I have high hopes for it? No, not really.
I mean, there's always again, Vegas is starting to become more than just a gambling and a boxing town.
Just the air temperature, how hot that track's going to be. We're looking at a 4-stop race, depending on how many laps there are. You know what I mean? Just the air temperature itself.
I give it 70.
You're in the middle of the desert. You know what I mean?
I feel at least from what I saw, what the grid is supposed to look like.
What?
From what I saw, the track is supposed to look like. I'm thinking it's going to be a very fast track. So they're going to be it's going to be like a 70+ lap race.
I think. I think it's going to be more.
If Monaco is 77, I give it.
But that's the longest. That's the longest circuit, lap wise, because it's such a small track. It's a tiny track, so they got a lot of laps to get through.
And they give them that many laps in order to give more opportunities to overtake because it's so hard. Is that a factor in how many laps?
Not so much. It's more along the lines of timing and how many laps they can get through. And I mean, because it's only you run minute 18 seconds, minute 17 seconds, 13 seconds when it's dry. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would hate to see Monaco go, but that's definitely on the board. And just because Mexico, it would either be Monaco or it would be Mexico, because they can't add so many races to a season and then also we're also going to hit you with a budget cap. You know what I mean? Like the amount of parts and travel and all that stuff that these teams go through, you can't put you've got to, if you're going to have that many races without getting rid of any of the historical content, or because Mexico is a great track. I mean, it's a great track. It's great racing, you know, so it's more exciting, more overtakes, more everything, you know. But when you get to Monaco, it's like whoever has the best strategy and track position, if you're in the front, you're gonna win. Like there's no.
So essentially, it's just history and nostalgia.
Yeah.
At this point.
At this point, it literally is just nostalgia and history. That's all it is. That's really all Monaco is now. And something's got to give because you keep adding all these tracks and everything. Honestly, I think Vegas will probably be a one and done because I don't
Really?
see them. I don't see them doing anything crazy. Like there's nothing. There's Miami might even be a one and done. So just thinking about it, because Miami was all right. It wasn't the best circuit. Like it was cool. Like, it's a new track. They built it around the stadium. They did there's elevation changes and all that stuff. But in Vegas, there's no elevation change. It's hot as fuck. You're in the middle of a desert. Like you're more than likely gonna overheat your engine. So I honestly, when we get to Vegas, I predict a lot of DNFs. And I don't, and I predict not a whole lot of racing just because of the tire management and the engine management, just because of how hot it is. And then the city is, and it being a street track, a street circuit. I don't think
when
Vegas
would be
has.
Well, when does Vegas? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what the weather patterns and shit like that in Vegas are. But what time of year, at least during the Formula One season, you would have to look if you're going to go into Vegas? Obviously, like you said, you need to take in the heat and everything else like that into consideration when it comes to the race.
Yeah.
So that comes to time, like the time of day that it happens.
Well, yeah.
And during the time of year.
It's got to be a night race, 100%. If no matter what time of the year, it has to be a night race. If it's not a night race, everyone's going to fucking blow their engine. Like, it's just too fucking hot. Everybody's going to be melting tires, all of that. So
definitely can't be a morning race. That's for sure.
No, absolutely not.
Hell no. No.
One of the things when they had raced back in Vegas, way back when, was the sand and the dust and all that stuff. But now it's not so bad because you got all the fucking structures and all that shit, up now. So dust is not going to be a thing. It's just trying to have an exciting track, in a city, in a street circuit where the streets are built on a grid. So that's a lot of 90-degree turns.
Yeah.
It's just not that exciting. You'd have your main chance in the DRS zone on the main straight, going down the strip and everything. But outside of that, probably not a whole lot of overtaking just because of how close the turns are and then the degree of the turn. They have one loop or whatever that comes around one of the structures or whatever. It's like a circular structure. They're building a loop around that. But everything else is like a 90-degree turn. And it's like, it's just, it doesn't make for good racing. It really doesn't.
Well, I looked at the straightaway itself and I was like, that's a fucking long way to go.
It's a long straight. It's like, I don't know, about a mile long straight, 2 mile long
pretty
straight.
Long
almost.
Fucking straight.
But I mean, you hit that straight. That's really all there is. Like that's your main overtaking point. where you can overtake safely and efficiently. And
Yeah.
that's really the only spot that you can see just because of the way the track's built. Like,
yeah.
I just don't see it having a great
Well, I mean, we
racing-
never know. We'll I mean, there's obviously we can look at it and
Yeah.
have the opinions about what it could be and everything like that now, but then when the race comes, it could, surpass low expectations.
Yeah.
So it could be a good race, but again, like it's something that's all based, in my opinion, on timing.
Yeah.
Like you said, night race for sure. Definitely trying to put it into a season where it's, in Vegas, it's not as hot as it normally is.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot, but you would like to minimize it as much as you could.
It's just finding the right time. I mean, we race here in October in Texas, right? And I mean,
Yeah, it's after
it's
August,
still
which
fucking
is
hot. You know what I mean?
but it ain't August hot.
Huh?
It ain't August hot.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you're talking maybe like 5-10 degrees, maybe.
That's significant, I think.
Yeah, but it's still 90 degrees outside.
9 degrees, but it ain't 100.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's cooled off, oh, we're cool for the winter, you know what I mean? And now, especially in Vegas, in Vegas, you're in the desert.
Yeah, that's desert weather.
It's desert weather. It's dry. It's hot. It's
the night it should be cold, right? Desert's the coldest place and the hottest place. That's why I'm like, well, then nighttime race should be fine in Vegas.
Yeah, but that's specific times of night, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest. When I went to Vegas,
time in the night, like middle of the night.
Yeah, like, bro, Vegas still hot at 10 p.m., bro.
That's what I'm saying. You can't have a race start at 10 p.m.
Vegas is hell.
So I just don't see Vegas being on the schedule for very long.
I just think they put Vegas on the schedule because Vegas right now is turning into one of these hot zones for like sports and stuff like that to come. They just had the Golden Knights for hockey
100%.
come in.
It's marketing. That's what the race is. It's not there to, showcase the driver's skill. It's there so casinos can get their name out. And that's really all it is. I mean, but
it is what it is. So,
definitely.
We'll see. Like I said, we'll see because it could be a good one. It might be a race that
it's probably going to be a shitty one. I'm not going to lie.
I'm just saying, a lot of people are going to be showing up to that race.
Yeah. And they'll get charged up the ass just because, it's Formula One race weekend, here on the
all
strip.
The celebrities are going to be out there on the strip, everything, all the big names and billionaires and shit. They're all going to be out there in Vegas gambling their money away to these casinos. That's really what's going to be going down.
They're going to make a lot of money. For sure, they're going to make a lot of money in Vegas. But as far as
the quality of the race.
But being a racing fan, it's going to suck shit. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's just what it is. But I will let y'all go because we're running up on time here. And
I know, yeah. I was going to say that, but you can just, all right, you can hard out yourself, bro. You can just say it. Fuck. I mean, I got the time. I'm looking right at it going, all right, I'm gonna give him a nice little outro. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. No, I'm going to let you guys go. All right, well, fuck you too then, guy. I was going to give it something formal, but shit.
Sorry, man. Check out the Let's go.
Everybody, please welcome and thank Sunshine for being on the show, talking Formula One with us. We'll see you again maybe next week. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're in Azerbaijan, so I don't know. It depends on. I don't even know if we're racing next weekend. It might be a 2 week.
Might be the weekend after that.
Yeah.
A 2 week
I'll
period.
check. We'll check.
All right, bro.
See
you later.
We'll see y'all later. Play some video games. Fuck it.
Yeah. See you.
See you, dude.
That conversation in Formula One and everything brought to you by Raise Energy. You guys already know repsports.com, reppsports.com. Use the promo code Alpha Raise, get 15% off your order. The Italian shaved ice limited edition flavor is out right now. Get it while it's still there. Very soon, they're going to be deciding which one of the past limited edition flavors that they had will be full-time flavor from here on out. So keep up with that. Repsports.com, reppsports.com. Use the promo code Alpha Raise. Raise energy, demand more. Join the Raise Rebellion. Appreciate Raise for being with us since day one. Coming up very soon, hopefully within the next minute, hops in. We will be joined. Yep. We are going to be joined by Hans. I'm just, God, I gotta remember his name. Or like how to pronounce the last name.
I mean, honestly, you could just keep saying Hans because I feel like anybody with the name Hans in the fight world got hands.
Probably.
And that wasn't even meant to be a pun. It's like, kind of look at it.
Hans got hands.
I don't know. That's just me. Hans got hands. That's why they named him that. We got fucking paws, man.
But he had it perfect. Temis Toad. Like that's how it's spelled is THEMISTODE. And it's pronounced T like TE, Miss Toad. He just gave it to. I was like, I don't want to butcher it, so if you can like tell me how to pronounce your name, that would be fine. He's like, everybody does. He's like, it's pronounced Temis Toad. I was like, all right, Hans Temis Toad, the head writer and editor for BoxingInsider.com. He's going to be joining us really soon. He just messaged me right now. I sent him the invite. And all
Do you know if he?
Twitter, but he wants to. He's getting it through the email. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you know if he had a fight career?
I don't. That was one of the. I was going to ask him like, how did he get into this? Like, how is this something? Just. I mean, obviously he's got a love for the sport. You got to have a love for the sport, to be a full-time writer and editor of it. He's also a boxing writers member, also an editor and a writer at Fansided and Minute Media Ltd. So he stays busy. Yeah, he was. We were talking a little bit about the Gervonta Davis fight this past weekend, and we kind of agreed it was one of those slow fights, but it was slow for a reason, not for like a boring reason. Like there was a lot of anticipation. There was a lot of like punches and stuff like that being thrown. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of punches being thrown because not a lot of punches were being thrown. But there was an obvious sign that both fighters had a respect for the other fighters' punching power. Davis had obvious respect for Romero's punching power, and it is very well documented Gervonta Davis's punching power. So both of them were in there cautious, throwing punches when they could. Both of them were landing some pretty good ones, but just came down 6th round. It was just, I guess, poetic justice from the boxing gods because Romero had been talking shit the whole time, saying, Gervonta Davis, he's going to walk into one. He's just going to walk right into one and just get knocked out. But he'd been calling it the whole time. Romero walked into one. He walked straight in. Arms were out here, face presented, leaning forward, almost like when Pacquiao got knocked out. He just got caught leaning forward, got hit the ground. Romero got like Davis just stepped to the side and just kind of threw a left in there, and it connected. Romero went cross-eyed and hit the ground, tried to beat the 8 count, and just couldn't do it. Yeah. Keep yourself on there because I'm the only one on YouTube right now. The Shannon Sharp thing never shows up. It's only just me. But yeah, it was a hell of a fight. I think the prelims and stuff like that were pretty good too. But yeah, this fight, there was a lot of respect. As much shit talking as there was a lot of respect for the other's ability. Romero, I think, was talking a little too much though, because he was starting to call shit like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna knock him out in the very first round on the very first punch," and as soon as the bell rang, he came out and was doing this, just padding away, feeling away, padding away, and I'm like, that's not gonna knock him out. If you think that's gonna knock him out, and you are sadly mistaken and underestimating your opponent in a severe way. Because I mean, again, I a lot of it was to sell the fight. I get it, but when you start making like claims like that and then not delivering, not even close, embarrassingly, yeah, it's not a good look at all. Oh, and here he is. Get him in here. And there it is. Ladies and gentlemen of the JAFFO Army, please welcome to the JAFFO family, head editor and writer of BoxingInsider.com, Hans Temistode. Did I pronounce that? Did I get it okay?
You did actually. I'm a little surprised.
Thank God. I try not to butcher people's names because I try to give as much respect and everything as I possibly can, and at least I can do that by asking you how to pronounce it instead of just butchering it in the moment. So appreciate you giving me the pronunciation, and I appreciate you for coming on the phone, the show, Hans.
Yeah. No
we were just talking about it right now. This past weekend was pretty eventful, with Davis and Romero going at it. But before we get into that, I just wanted to know real quick, because we ask all of our guests and stuff like that their story. How does one get into your field? How does one get into, basically covering the boxing world and writing about it, just putting it out there? How did that all come to fruition?
I mean, there's so many different roads you could take, man. I mean, for me, I went to school for it. Originally I actually I actually majored in like trying to be like a teacher pretty much. And so, like I always say this story, well, like I had like an internship or something like that. And I walked into the class probably like the second day, and it was like a bunch of maybe like second graders or something like that. And like everybody screaming and yelling, and I literally just stood there and I say, nah, fuck this shit, man.
Nope, not doing it.
So, from there I just started writing for my school newspaper. Once I graduated, started writing for my local paper out here. Did a lot of free writing. Then eventually you'll get your foot in the door. People start noticing you, and you just really got to work on your craft like every day, man. Like almost every day I try to read the dictionary a little bit just to like pick up on like new words and just how to put stuff together. So it's a lot of work, man, but it's not impossible though. It's not impossible.
Well, so was boxing always the goal? Was that just kind of something you fell into and it just kept going from there?
I mean, just covering sports in general was always like my main thing. I remember when I got a chance to cover Heather Hardy. I was like, man, this is so much fun. I was like, man, I could do this all day. And then That was a pretty cool experience to cover one of her fights. So yeah, it just kind of took off from there. And I do cover like other sports as well, but like my main thing is boxing. So yeah, just I don't want to say lucky because I don't believe in luck or anything like that, but just work your ass off pretty much,
Eventually, the hard work will pay off.
basically.
So when you get into boxing, what is it about the sport that draws you to it? Because there are some people who are fans of it. There's some people who obviously are not fans of it. Some people think of it a little barbaric. Although that may be a little bit true, there's more that goes into it than that. Where did your, I guess, love for the sport come from? What makes you want to cover the sport?
Well, I'll always say that the first fighter that like made me love the sport was Hector Camacho. He just had like
Macho
and
Camacho.
he was, I mean, I didn't really get a chance to like watch him live, but I just like watched old tapes, and he had like all the swag in the world, man. Like all the outfits he came out with, post fight, pre-fight, had like a shirt unbuttoned, walking down the streets in New York, big chain on, go in the ring, kick people's ass. So, like I was just like, yo, this guy, he's the man. So he's definitely the first guy that I would say made me love it. And in terms of why I love the sport, there's really nothing better than, or nothing like there's no bigger competitive atmosphere than when it's just you one on one with somebody else, man. Like the team sports thing is cool, but you got to depend on your teammates. But when it's just me and you, like there's nothing better. We'll find out who's the better man right now.
Yeah, it is one of those aspects, and it's not just, I mean, brute strength and all that kind of stuff kind of goes into it, but there is a lot more psychologically that goes into boxing than one would think. You cannot fight stupid. You'll just get knocked out every time. That's just not even.
You'd be surprised, man.
Well,
You'd be surprised.
there have been fighters who have gotten lucky with it. I will admit that, but most of them, the real greats, there is the ring IQ.
Yeah.
I grew up with my grandpa, Mexican household. We saw Julio Cesar Chavez all the time in his fights. And so getting to see how he went, and then that whole era going into now, very different.
Yeah,
Very
for sure.
different eras. And I think the attention was much more there back then than it is now. But with the trilogy that just happened with Fury and Wilder, which was, in a lot of people's opinion, one of the biggest heavyweight trilogies of all time.
Mhm.
How much more of that do we need? Like, is boxing starting a rebirth now? Like, is it starting to kind of, because there was for a long time, like, didn't seem like really anybody cared about it. Now people are starting to talk.
I mean, honestly, I think when people say stuff like that, boxing having a rebirth, even when fighters or promoters say certain stuff like, this fight is good for boxing or X, Y, and Z is good for boxing, I find it all to be really cliche and a little bit weird, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like boxing isn't really, it's not really difficult, like it just becomes difficult because there's so many promoters, like once you make like the great fights, everybody's going to be attracted to that more than anything else. I think boxing's in a really good space. And I know Max Kellerman, like he put it like really, really well when he was just like, if you walk to a park, and you see people playing football, you see people playing basketball, you see people playing baseball, soccer, and you see two people fighting. You're gonna go to the fight. It doesn't really matter. You're just gonna go to the fight. You know what I mean? So boxing it's always gonna be in a great place. Just hopefully, these nice and really big fights will always keep happening, man.
Yeah, no, and as one, me being a fight fan, growing up watching it and seeing it now, it's like I've always, and talking to people about it. Some people say, oh, I haven't really paid attention to boxing, since Tyson days and everything else like that. I was just like, well, you're missing out, because there's a lot of people that are out there right now that are badass motherfuckers that can really, put their name into the sport, etched in the history forever. It's like, if you really pay attention, there's some really good things
Yeah.
happening in the sport of boxing right now that I hope, people start paying attention to more, because there's just something about a fight that the excitement, the adrenaline's pumping, and you can feel it from the crowd too. It is almost like a barbaric atmosphere, like everyone's like animalistic, just holy shit, like it's just raw emotion when
Yeah,
it comes
yeah,
into the sport. And it's one of the more, like, when it comes to that type of raw emotion, it's the most genuine producer of that,
yeah, and
because the long history of the fight game and everything else like that. But right
yeah,
now,
yeah. But I also think you're probably going a little bit too deep in your analysis. I think like just boxing more than anything is just the most relatable sport because not everybody plays basketball, not everybody plays football, tennis. I think everybody done got into a fight. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
just about everybody. So everybody knows what that feels like. Obviously not on that professional level, but everybody knows what it feels like to get into a fist fight though.
yeah, no, that's a very good way of putting it, because when you don't think of it that way, it's like, oh no, yeah, everyone at least one point in their life
Pretty
has
much.
gotten into a fist fight with somebody. And if you haven't, hey, God bless you. But most people, yeah, they can relate to that. And that very good point. That is very relatable in that sense. So getting into this weekend, talking about some emotional stuff. Pre-fight, everything. What was your biggest take from Davis and Romero? Because mine, I Davis, I like the guy, and I think he's actually very underrated and a little disrespected, to be completely honest with you. I don't think he's pushed as big as a lot of these other fighters. That could be just my own outlook from it. But from your aspect going into this fight, what was the whole atmosphere like going into this? Because I know the arena was buzzing that night.
I mean, the arena was crazy. Like I've covered a lot of fights at Barclays, and that I'd probably say that was like the most electric crowd that like I've been in for a fight night. So it was crazy. I mean, we had friggin' Madonna in there, so it was it was ridiculous, and like nobody could get next to Madonna. So don't even try it. So, but yeah, it was pretty crazy. Just the whole buildup of everything. I think Rowley did like a great job of just really just pushing everything. The whole first round knockout thing, everybody was kind of waiting to see, like, all right, is he really gonna fucking knock Tank out in the first round? He's talking so confidently, but
Yeah.
like the way he was just building himself up, and just some of the things he was saying. Like some people would ask him, like, like what are you gonna kind of do to win this fight? And he was just like, I'm just gonna knock Tank out. Simple as that. And it's just like his confidence, his bravado, everything about him, his swag. He just was really feeling himself, and he did a great job really promoting the event. And yeah, like I said, it was just unbelievable, man. When the main event came on,
People
everybody
were,
was like, man.
you can feel it. I remember watching it going like, man, like everybody is on their feet, tuned in. Speaking of on their feet, something happened off camera
Mhm.
during the fight. I mean, we couldn't see it, but I can tell from the crowd because their attention was not on the fight.
Oh yeah, it was probably one of the fights. It wasn't that far from me actually. It was probably like a few feet away. There was probably like 3 fights during the main event. And like throughout the night, probably like 10. but well, yeah, that's
Shit.
that's what everybody was looking at. Like they was really getting it in, like really getting it in. So
Because
yeah,
it was like got to the point where damn near the whole arena was like, oh shit. Like I was like, damn, is
yeah,
there a brawl going on in the stands right now? What is happening?
yeah. It's a,
But
it's kind and then everybody kind of snapped back, like, oh yeah, there's a fight going on in the ring. So, but
oh
yeah,
yeah,
it
by
was,
the
it
way,
was
these
great.
two guys in the middle here are trying to kill each other.
Yeah, it was
let's
crazy.
go. Let's go after pros instead of drunk amateurs in the crowd. But I mean, we had seen it all over social media, and I kind of commented on it in Twitter and stuff like that. You and Maya had a little back and forth of the pace of the fight. There were some people that were kind of upset, like, oh, they weren't really throwing the no shit. Both of them had, I mean, as much shit that was being talked back and forth. There was a respect for the power. Davis knew Romero had power, and likewise from Romero. And it really did, at least from my vantage point, looking on TV, it looked like both of them were just kind of like just cocked and ready, just ready for that one you're done shot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of how normally fights kind of play out when it's like two big punches. You know what I mean? Like the build-up is crazy. Like they'll show all of the knockouts and stuff like that. But when you actually get in the ring, both guys are just like, oh shit, this guy hits really hard. Like let me be careful and stuff like that. But in terms of that fight, I mean, it started off a little slow, but I don't think it was really both guys. I think it was really Tank that was just like, all right, I'm gonna be cautious here. You know what I mean? Like I don't really want to get hit with something stupid. And I think in the back of his mind, he was just like, Rolly's been talking so much shit about this first round knockout. Let me be a little extra careful anyways. And he didn't want to go in there and slug it out with the guy anyways. So I think Tank was just being more cautious, being more patient, and it just worked out beautifully for him.
I mean, well, you see Country Kid picture. Yeah, I mean, he definitely waited for the right moment because. And I had told Kay it was like the boxing gods just played it out perfectly because Romero had been talking the whole time about Tank walking into one. Eventually, he's just going to walk into one. And we see right here, Romero walked right into that left. Basically. And it put him out. It put him on Dream Street. He was on skates for sure. Yeah, but 100%. Do you believe that he was up all 6 rounds?
No, I mean, it got stopped in the 6, so 5 rounds. No, I did have him winning though. Honestly, I had Rolly up like 3-2. I could see the argument even for like 4-1, but to me personally, I had a 3-2 Rolly. I know a few people that felt the same way. I know a few people that had it 3-2 Davis, which I could see that as well because he was boxing like extremely, extremely well. But for me, I had a 3-2 for Rolly though.
And then that 0.6 round just. Out cold. And then when the knockout happened, what did the arena feel like at that point?
I mean, before the knockout even happened, if Tank threw a punch and it didn't even land, the crowd goes crazy. You know what I mean? Like the crowd loves Tank. Like it's outrageous. So, like once he actually like got his jab going a little bit and started like connecting, the crowd really got hyped. But as soon as he actually dropped them, they went berserk. There was a little bit of I guess a little bit of like a disappointing feeling when, the referee didn't allow the fight to continue. I mean, it looked like Rolly was fairly okay from what I saw, but, when I got a chance to like watch it over and, get like a really good closer look, it was like, nah, he wasn't okay.
Yeah. If I was the ref, I would have made the same call because at least from the TV, as soon as he took that step to the left, you see his knees just buckle. And I'm like, no. Yeah, you go back out there, Tank is going to kill you. It's just.
He wasn't all the way there. He wasn't all the way there for sure. I probably would have let it continue to go, though, but I would have been a horrible ref, though. But
you just. Until somebody's out. I don't care. Yeah, we're not even having an 8 count. Until
somebody's got like
asleep.
20-second counts. Get back up. We're good to go,
man. So I've seen a couple times, and I don't know if this is just like a precautionary thing. Shortly after Rolly got up from being knocked out, he didn't stay for any sort of congratulations or post-fight, hand raising, whatever. He booked. So was that like a precautionary thing? Like, oh, he got knocked out. Let's take him out of the ring so we can get him looked at, or because I've seen people get knocked. Wilder got knocked out by Fury, and he was still on at least in the corner during the whole thing.
It's a combination of things. Want to get a guy to the back to like see how they're doing. But honestly, I kind of felt like Rolly was probably just a little pissed off that's how the fight played out pretty much, and I'm pretty sure he felt in his head that he was winning anyways. But I also feel that Rolly, he was getting a lot of flack from a lot of people. People just saying like, hey, you should have stood there in the ring and, accepted the loss like a man and stuff like that. In the back, in the media room, he came to the back, gave us about 15 minutes. So, he was real cool with his time. He wasn't mad. He wasn't upset or anything like that. So, I guess he just didn't feel like talking in that moment. I'd understand where everybody was coming from if he never even came to the back, and like he wasn't as hurt. Because there's been times where when I was at the Spence versus Ugas fight, and Ugas didn't show up to the post fight presser because he was in an ambulance and whatever. And so sometimes fans can get like a little out of hand, like, yo, this guy got to go to the hospital, or this guy he got to go get checked out and stuff like that. So it's just different things that happen pretty much.
So it's just one of those moments. Just I don't want to talk to anybody right now. Let me blow off some steam, cool down real quick. What the hell just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, because at first when I looked at it, I was going like, I'm like, that's some sore loser shit at first.
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
but
everybody wants to hear like Rolly talk and stuff like that, but I can guarantee he wasn't a sore loser. Nobody on his team was a sore loser. I spoke to them actually like after the fight, and a few days ago actually. Like everybody's cool, so nobody's like, have like any bad feelings, apoplectic or, acrimonious to the whole situation. So everybody's pretty good, and they're just, not happy with how it went. But I don't think anybody on that team is a sore loser for sure.
do they run it back?
I'd love to, honestly.
You had some people giving you some pushback on that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's typical Twitter shit, man. Typical Twitter shit, man.
Fucking trolls.
Yeah, people always gonna give a little pushback, but it's cool though. I like conversating with trolls too, so I don't got no problem.
Most of them, if it's really stupid, I'm not even.
I still talk to them, and hopefully they don't curse me out. But I'm cool with talking to the trolls though, man. But I would definitely love to see a rematch. I doubt it happens. Rolly probably has to get a few more pretty good wins under his belt. And if he's able to do that, I definitely see them running it back, man.
So before we let you go here, what is two things? Your favorite fighter, I guess, right now and of all time, and in this upcoming year, the fight schedule that are coming up, what are you looking forward to the most?
Those are two good questions. All time is always going to be Ali. Always, man. I mean, the stuff that he did, man, putting his career on hold, and not even just that, man. The way he fought, man, like he was unreal.
Revolutionary.
Yeah, his skills were unreal, man. Put it like that, unreal. So he's definitely my favorite. Right now, I wouldn't say that I have a favorite boxer right now, only because I'm in the media. So I try not to be like, like biased or anything like that.
You can be biased on this show. It's okay. It's okay. Here you can do whatever you want. That's fine.
I definitely don't try to be biased at all, man. Even when I'm sitting like media, like ringside and stuff like that, like you'll never see me clapping or like jumping out of my seat or anything like that. I just want to watch the fight and see how it plays out and stuff like that. So yeah, favorite fighter right now, probably don't have one, but when I hang up the pen, we can revisit that.
All right. So then as a media writer, then what fighter right now, I guess, impresses you the most? We'll reword it. Impresses you the most that like you either see potential or they're already there, or like what fighter kind of gives you a little bit of that excitement, I guess, factor?
I mean, I guess the fighters that bring the most excitement to me, I would say definitely Canelo. I'm not mad at anybody that has Canelo still pound for pound number one. I'm also a little incredulous, and it's kind of difficult when when I talk to a lot of guys. Like I talked to like Roy Jones Jr. and he was just like he doesn't think Canelo should fight a guy like Bivol at 75 or 68. He can't beat him. He got the wrong style. And and in my head, I'm just like, but that's what makes it fun, though. You know what I mean? Like Canelo has been the one guy, not the only guy, but he's been like the one guy that's just been like, yo, I want a challenge. I'm gonna fight everybody at 75, cruiserweight. I'll fight Usyk at 201 pounds, like just craving a challenge. And now he's got one, and everybody's saying, oh yeah, don't do it anymore. No, he got his challenge. He got what he wanted. So
he does give off, like, I'm not going to sit here and say he's an exact comparison, but in my opinion, you don't really see a lot of that. I don't give a shit. Bring them all. I don't care. Whatever weight class. I don't care. A lot of people are a little bit more meticulous about who they're going to fight and everything else like that. Canelo kind of shows me a little bit, kind of what Julio Cesar Chavez. I mean, he mentored him a little bit, so he obviously learned something. Because Chavez never ducked anybody. You can tell that by the record.
And Canelo definitely doesn't duck anybody. But to be fair, though, there are a lot of fights that people want to see him fight, as opposed to like a Triple G third fight, which I think is going to be a good fight. I think Canelo is a pretty clear favorite right now. But you got guys like Benavidez. Charlo's another pretty good name. David Morrell was a guy who has only a handful of fights, but he could fight his ass off. Like, he's really, really good. Even like one of those really weird fights, like an Errol Spence fight. You know what I mean? Like, that's a fight that people would just want to be like, okay, let me see. Demetrius Andrade. That's a guy that I was talking to the other day. He was talking shit about Canelo losing, but he always wants to fight Canelo, and I've always just been a little annoyed that he never got that Canelo fight, or just certain fights with him just hasn't happened. But it's on another note, it's people aren't people want to keep saying that people have been ducking Andrade, which isn't really the case. Just fights just haven't been made. Like, I know several fights that have tried to be made, like him against Charlo, and it just hasn't come to fruition, unfortunately. But hopefully something will happen for him. But yeah, those are Canelo's a guy that I would say, another guy like Spence and Crawford and stuff like that. In terms of the fight schedule, probably say, I mean, I enjoy every fight. The fight this weekend is gonna be great. Fulton versus uh man, what's his name again? Roman. That's gonna be a really good fight. Canelo versus Triple G is gonna be another good one. Really looking forward to Joe Smith versus Better BF. Somebody that, for that fight, the refs should like call out. They're not gonna do that.
just let him go.
Yeah, just stay home. Like, nobody, you don't need to show up tonight. So yeah, there's a bunch of big fights that's on the schedule where I'm just like, yeah, I'm looking forward to them all. Even some of the lesser fights that people probably aren't really that enthused about. I'm just like, yeah, I'm interested in it for sure.
Yeah, you get to get an interesting look at Country K's nostrils now before you take off. That's always great. Good job, K. Way to be that guy. Hans, we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to hang out with us and talk some boxing. Hopefully a little bit later on down the road, get to doing it again, more in depth and more fights, and we'll stay connected and stuff like that. And once again, appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. JAFFO Army, Hans Temestode, the head writer and editor of BoxingInsider.com. Appreciate you, Hans.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. This was fun. We'll talk again soon, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Have a good night.
You too. Oh man,
Just trying to keep it interesting, man.
What do you mean trying to keep it interesting? What, just by randomly putting your face in there like that?
Randomly doing just random shit. Random shit, bro.
Once again, Hans Temestode. Obviously the guy has a wealth of knowledge. He's talked to fighters. I would love to be able to pick his brain even more when it comes to media wise, how to present yourself, I guess, and how you handle things and how it goes. Again, anything that we can really learn to kind of get things looking and sounding better for the show, and the things that we cover and the things that we do, the more that we can do, the better. So again, appreciate Hans for joining us and talking a little bit about this weekend, the atmosphere and everything of what it was like down at Barclays Center for that fight. Because again, it was palpable. Watching it go, you can feel the excitement. You knew it was a big fight feel to it. I do say earlier that I do feel Davis is a little underrated and disrespected in terms of who he is as a fighter. But it does look like, especially from the crowd, because Barclays Center there's a lot of history for him. That's where he won his first title, and they were talking about that pre-fight. So there's history there, and Davis obviously got very emotional about winning there and everything like that. So it was a big night, and it was obvious. But yeah, hell of a fight, hell of a weekend, hell of a conversation. Can't wait to be able to talk to Hans again soon, because again, when the fights that are coming up, it's definitely going to be something that we need to kind of watch and bring back to fruition, because like I said, it just I mean, he's as being a fight fan and everything else, like the cliches of the rebirth. I mean, in my opinion, it is kind of one of those legitimate questions, because I did feel like there was a long time there where people didn't really care as much about boxing. Not necessarily saying myself, but just saying people in general. There was a time period there where it was just kind of like, and I think a lot of it had to do with boxing back in the day being very corrupt, to be completely blunt, fixed fights and everything else like that. So people weren't paying attention to it, because that's something that turned a lot of people off. But right now, there's a lot of exciting things going on. Hopefully we can bring a little bit more light to that. And I know Hans is doing a hell of a job over there at boxinginsider.com. Great follow. Go follow him at Temistode and at Boxing Insider. Basically everything that you need to know about the boxing game, they got it all there. So again, appreciate Hans for coming on. That conversation brought to you by Gunner Sports, the ones that bring you the Bay Area Cali Classic, as well as the Gunner Sports Academy. If you want your kid to get better at the game of football, and not just better at the game, but better at the game of life, to be a better person, this is the coaching staff, and this is the full staff in general that you need to be talking to. Leslie Jackson has something going over there at the Gunner Sports that we know for sure is going to be producing athletes that are more than just what they do on the field. That's their goal. They're making looking to make all of these kids really become productive members of society, rather than just players on the field. Coaches, if you want to get your kids on your team and stuff like that, more exposure, get a hold of Gunner Sports. These are the people that you guys want to go to. Once again, Leslie Jackson, appreciate them for partnering with us, and we can't wait for the next All-Star game to come up, and all the other events and stuff like that leading up to that. So again, Gunner Sports, go check them out. Appreciate that. Whew, man.
Oh God. I just stubbed my toe during the promo. I was holding my breath, dude. Shit hurt so bad.
As soon as done with the promo, God damn, that fucking hurt. Holy shit.
Hey, Leslie, I tried my best. I promise you. I tried my best to hold that in for you.
Appreciate that. Hey. Appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. Class. All class right there. I appreciate that. My God.
Oh.
Man, so I said it in the intro. I feel like I'm an NBA guru, because I just call things and it happens. The Warriors swept the Mavericks, called that. Gentleman's sweep, but semantics. The Celtics in 7, called that. Happened. So I mean, I feel like if you are a betting person and you want to know who to put your money on for the NBA Finals, I'm your guy. I'm the one you want to talk to. JPVP 888 or Jaffa's AP. Talk to us there. We'll be able to get you all your betting needs. Okay.
Family, if y'all put y'all money based on this man's doggone predictions. All right.
Hey, I might be I might be somebody's saving grace.
We have not talked about this bullshit that Jimmy Butler did. I'm gonna be all the way honest. I understand that you picked the Celtics, but come the fuck on, dude. I know you were watching that game.
Bro,
Jimmy played his motherfucking heart out. Let me get this out before I continue to try to.
Go ahead.
You played your motherfucking heart out, dude.
48 minutes.
I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like you didn't play your heart out. I understand why you took the shot based on what most of the commentators and all that shit been saying. It made sense why they say that. But the problem is that I have, if you played that long, then your legs are gonna be shot. And you shouldn't shoot that shot. That is why I said he
wasn't even set when he took it too. He was motion.
Fucking exactly. That's why I was so pissed. I'm like, this motherfucker think he was born in Cleveland in the same hospital as LeBron. His father played for the fucking Charlotte Hornets. He think that's him. That's who he think he was at that motherfucking moment. Do you not understand what the fuck I'm saying? For people that's not understanding who I'm talking about Steph Curry. He thought he was fucking Steph. Look how he shot the ball. And then look at the year that Steph shot 400 shots. I swear to you about 150 of them look just like what Jimmy Butler shot on Sunday. What in the fuck, bro?
Look, I'm going to be completely honest. I know I called Celtics in 7, but there was a moment in time there, especially after game 6 in Boston. And I was playing 2K, PS4, low generation. Don't judge.
Don't judge, motherfuckers.
Just because you got that shit, the PS5 right now, because you used a fucking bot to get it. Go fuck yourself.
You don't have bills. You don't have bills like that. Fuck
exactly. That. It was you don't got bills. You don't got responsibilities like that. Mama went and bought you PS5 for Christmas. Fucking good for you. Playing it, but you know how you go into the arcade and stuff like that. You do the prize wheel, then you pick whatever teams that you win, however many teams win, you get like 100 points, shit like that. Well, the choice came, at least for game 7, who would you pick, the Heat or the Celtics? And I looked at it going, the Heat just beat the Celtics in game 6 in Boston. They are now in Miami. I'm like, and then it came into my head like Jimmy Butler is out of his mind right now. I was like, big time Jimmy has been playing this entire series. So I picked the Heat to win game 7 on 2K. No coins came to fruition, obviously. But I mean, I wouldn't have been or I guess I'm not upset with the shot. But I feel like the shot would have been a lot better had he actually, because he had enough room to get set. He had enough room to at least give Horford a move to back him down, 1.5 or whatever more steps, an extra half a step to give him some more time. Get set, take the shot. He had nobody around. He had nobody around him.
All right, hold on.
He was actually had nobody around him. So I think if he would have gave Horford a quick move, came back, got set, took the shot, I feel like he would have hit it.
Hold on.
But because he was off balance with the shot, that's what ultimately affected.
Let me put this in better
out of the whole arena.
Let me put this in better perspective for people, because it's my team, right? So I will feel a lot different about that shot versus you, right? Like if this was the Warriors, say if Draymond shoots that kind of fucking shot instead of Steph or Clay, you'd be like, I mean, you make
I'd
threes.
lose my mind.
You make threes, but
he hadn't made threes like that, and he hadn't made threes like that in years. He's not that Draymond no more.
Exactly. That's my motherfucking point. That's my point. Jimmy Butler is the best player on our team, hands down. But the problem is, on that best player status, 3-pointing isn't a part of that bracket. You get what I'm saying? Like his 3-pointing isn't better than anyone else is on our team like that. Like you got a handful of players Jimmy shoots better than. Not trying to down him, but we got a team full of fucking
Duncan
shooters.
was better off taking that shot.
Oh my God, Duncan Robinson would have drained. First off, fuck all that. Maxi Strus just made the 3 right before that. People forget that shit.
He should have given it to the hot hand.
He hit the most crazy 3 in Jason Tatum's face and bapped that motherfucker to make it a 2-point game. People forgot that shit. So the Jimmy Butler shot, yeah, that shit's fucking crazy. When, again, like Skip Bayless said fucking Monday morning, Jimmy Butler wasn't involved in the last fucking 5-point score. Victor Oladipo had two plays, and then Max Strus hit that shot. I mean, not 5 points, but like basically the last fucking several points. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, no. It was a bucket. It was an assist, and that was it. And then Max Strus hit that 3. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, like the last 5 points, Jimmy Butler had nothing to do with. You get what I'm saying? Like he was kind of like chilling. I get what he was doing. I get why he shot it, but I'm like, bro, like
he was too cold in that moment.
Yeah, you should have just made a play for somebody to fuck else like you was doing the whole fucking game, bro. He was driving the ball and then turning around and passing the shit to people. Like you was trying to play make the whole fucking game. Why the fuck in the last moment, oh, I'm gonna be selfish now. Fuck that shit. You should have been selfish the fuck during the whole fucking game. Like, what the fuck? Don't be that motherfucking now. Max Strus just made the last fucking possession. The motherfucker shot 5 bonehead ass shots in a fucking row and y'all got back in the game. They was beating our ass by 12. You know what I'm saying? It made it a 2-point fucking game. They made 5 dumbass possessions, got us back in the game. Why the fuck would you shoot that dumbass shot?
When like who got the rebound?
Marcus Smart tipped that bitch out, and then I think Al Horford grabbed it and gave it to Jason Tatum, and they called timeout at 11 seconds. 11.4. I promise you, that shit pissed me the fuck off.
No. The rebound to set up Jimmy.
Oh, Victor Oladipo, I think. It was Victor Oladipo or Bam. It was one of them. They like jumped up, grabbed the board, and it was a fast break. And they gave it to Jimmy. And Jimmy, it was Victor. No, it was Bam grabbed it, gave it to Vic, gave it to Jimmy. Vic ran on the side, ran on the left. Maxey ran on the right. And Jason Tatum was fucking like basically face guard Max Strus. And Oladipo was basically getting face guarded too. I think it was Brown guarding him. And then Al Horford gave him space. And he shot a fucking off-balance 3. He had enough time. He could have just got set. If you're going to shoot that bitch, at least get set.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if he would have got set, he had plenty of time. I feel like he might have thought somebody was behind him.
Man, look. Oh, God.
He might have thought somebody was closing in right behind him. Like, he might have felt the hairs on the back of his neck stand up real quick for him to think he didn't have enough time to actually get set and take the shot.
He been flopping all fucking game. And on top of that, fucking what's the name? Wasn't what's my name? Williams. Williams wasn't even on the fucking floor. Williams wasn't even on the floor, I don't believe. If I remember correctly, Williams wasn't on the floor.
Come a little closer. You're fading in and out to the.
Yeah, well, because I was trying to get my shit together back here. Oh. But yeah, fucking Williams. I don't think Williams was on the floor or anything like that. Plus, I wasn't trying to promote this company I don't work for no more. But I did need this knee brace. But yeah, so yeah, Marcus Smart tipped that bitch. And then I think Al Horford grabbed it, gave it to Tatum. But I'm telling you, that shit pissed me off. I'm like, bro, you could have drove and just did the N1 shit. That's your strong suit. Like, why in the fuck would you try to step outside yourself now in that moment? Like, I get it. You like, oh, it's my childhood, the shot to take us to the finals. Point.
Well, like, I get. See, what you just said right there actually makes a ton of sense because one, he had Al Horford on his heels.
No, Al Horford was in front of him. Al Horford was like 10 feet in front of him.
What I'm saying is Al Horford was already moving backwards. He was backpedaling.
Oh, on his heels. Oh, yeah. I got you.
He was on his heels.
Got you.
Like you said, if Jimmy would have just drove that shit, he possibly could have got the and one. It would have been just as good as taking the 3. You would have gotten the 1-point lead anyway. That's probably. I mean,
they've been calling for you all game. See, first, I understand. That's why I say it's like I've never played in the NBA, nor have I played college basketball, so I don't understand the mindset of playing basketball at that high of a level. I mean, I played pro-am tournaments and shit like that, but I haven't played at that high of a level. So I can't understand the intricacies because I know people be like, well, you never played on that level. But I mean, I did play. So, I mean, personally, I was a big man and shit like that. But at the same time, just having vision, like Jason Tatum's on one side, Jaylen Brown's on the other. At some point in time, Marcus Smart coming. This motherfucker can't jump as high as me, nor can he fucking block my shot like that. I'm gonna jump straight the fuck up. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna fucking stop, dribble, jump the fuck up, and shoot that bitch. If he try to block the shot, he gonna hit my arms. If he don't hit my arms, I'm gonna fucking flop and I'm gonna get 4 shots. I mean, I'm gonna get 3 shots, or I'm gonna get a 4-point shot. You know what I'm saying? Like
something tells me
on.
because when he took the shot, I was like, "What is he doing?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "Why did he rush that shot? He had time." I was like, so a part of me was thinking maybe he didn't have enough clock management to realize how much time that he actually had to put up the shot.
Or
two,
nobody said by yourself.
Yeah, nobody.
You said,
he may not have communicated because when y'all got the rebound, when Bam got the rebound, the crowd went fucking nuts.
I went fucking nuts.
So whatever, if that communication was said, Jimmy didn't hear it. Because I feel like Jimmy might have thought somebody was fucking in his hip pocket.
Yeah.
Jimmy must have thought somebody was real close to a point where, you know what? With the momentum, if I just go and take this shot, they're going to foul me. And if I miss it or not, that's still 3. So he could either rush the shot because he didn't know how much time was actually on the clock, or he thought somebody was behind him. He didn't realize that he was by himself. So, I mean, either way you look at it, it's one of those, wow, that really, and I'm going to be honest with you, when he put it up, I was like, all right, Jimmy Butler just sank this shit and the crowd's going to go nuts. As soon as it banked off the rim and the crowd went, and just you see people like upset and sad and like that.
I forgot I had this stuff from ass states. That shit bit me in the ass. That shit bit me in the ass for sure. Because I'm like this. I was like this all week. I'm not even gonna lie about it. That's my sentiment all week long. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and try to fucking make anything light about it. I was hurt all week long. I'm still hurt.
Man,
to
I mean, again, in hindsight, we can look at it and go, you know, oh, this is what could have happened. This is what should have happened. Yada, yada, yada. We can go on forever. But the fact remains that the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics are heading to the NBA Finals. Stephen Curry wins the first ever Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP. And Jason Tatum wins the first ever, wouldn't you know it, Larry Bird Eastern Conference Final MVP. Before heading
cloud
into the
demons
finals.
are real. The cloud demons are real. The cloud demons are real. These are cloud demons.
I mean,
They're gonna send that text somehow. I got you. To Kobe. Like, come on, somebody else got that number looking like, man, I wish y'all stop fucking texting me. Man, God, all these NBA players keep fucking texting me and shit, man.
Before we go into coverage of what the finals is possibly going to look like, Groundbreaking Enterprises. Groundbreaking Enterprises is a premier real estate company ready to buy your house as is. Have you considered selling? Call 510-646-7891 and get your no obligation offer now. That's 510-646-7891. Sell your home with Groundbreaking Enterprises. Tell them the JAFFO sent you. Shout out to Kenny and Seabass out there doing their thing with groundbreaking enterprises. So yeah, the finals are set. Warriors, Celtics. I saw somewhere today that apparently people were saying the Celtics have an 86% chance of winning, and the Warriors have like a 14 or 18% chance of winning. And my question to that was, why? I don't. It's like, did people forgot? People forgot who Look, we had this conversation of is Steph, and it's a conversation that's still being had today. National media, everything. Is Steph Curry a top 10 all-time player? We said yes. I broke it down to the fact that he literally revolutionized. If I'm looking at somebody who's a top 10 player of all time, these 10 players are the 10 players that revolutionized the game the most. And I think Steph is up there in that echelon of players. Especially with influence on how the game is played today. I think the Warriors have a really good shot. I think the Celtics have a really good shot. I think this matchup is probably the best matchup that people could have hoped for as an end result to these playoffs. If it had to be anyone, this one was going to be one of those good matchups. I saw that, and it might be the basketball gods talking or something like that. Or I don't know what it is, man. But 75th season, the 75th year, 2 of the original 3 are in the finals. 2 of the original 3 teams of the NBA are in the finals on the 75th anniversary of the league. I don't know. I mean, is the league fixing this shit? It wouldn't be out of the ordinary to think. Not like it hasn't happened before. Just saying.
I mean, I understand that's 2 of the original teams, but at the exact same time, fuck 'em. I got the Warriors winning. It don't even matter. I don't like picking the Warriors for shit. I personally don't think neither one of the motherfuckers can fuck with Miami. We would just beat the fuck up. Tyler Hero healthy, we whooping the shit out of fucking goddamn Boston. Let's be all the way honest. Because Jimmy had no fucking help like that. Bam had a quiet motherfucking goddamn 20-something.
No disagreements from me here.
All of Bam fucking breakout games was very quiet, except for that one like 33-point game or 30-point game in that series. He had one game where it was like, okay, Bam, what the fuck? Like, where the fuck you been? You know what I'm saying?
So where the fuck you been this entire time, dude?
Exactly. Like, what the
fuck? You're waiting
bro?
on you. What the fuck?
I've been talking big shit about Bam. Like, bro, like, Bam, that guy, like, bro, Bam has been playing quietly, like, silently. Like, this motherfucker moving like Anne Franken shit. Like, what the fuck?
Damn.
Like, bro, this shit crazy. I know. No, stop. No. It was good. Fuck that. No, I don't believe that apology no way. I was like, okay. I just in my head going, does he know what he just said? I just by going to private school.
I know
the fucking dude. Like we had to read all them fucking books, and then after that, my mom's made me read all the motherfucking books after I left private school. So please, y'all don't get it twisted.
That happened in the 40s. People let it go. Things can be joked about.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, so the NBA finals. You got the Warriors out of spite or like?
No, because just look at how we played the Celtics. We took them to 7, and Tyler Hero wasn't healthy. Tyler Hero was the 6th man of the year. Tyler Hero was our best scorer on the damn team. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying the Celtics had trouble with a Miami Heat team that literally only had Jimmy Butler carrying the team, and they went to 7.
The
And with
Warriors
a
beat
fully
fucking.
and a fully
Can I put 20
healthy
on the
Warrior
table?
squad.
Thank you. Yeah, the Warriors fucking goddamn played Luka and Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson was hooping. Like, let's be real. He was hooping.
Then what he
You know
was
what I'm
too.
saying? Then Spencer didn't want to was hooping. So they had more people helping Luka than fucking Jimmy had. And the Warriors beat them in 6.
5.
5. I'm sorry, you're right. You said gentleman sweep. Yeah, you're right. 5. But you get what I'm saying? So it's like, and then we played them in 7, and Jimmy was doing it by himself. I'm telling you, Tyler Hero would have been out there clipping shit, bro. Remember when he played against LeBron them in the finals?
Yeah.
How his game rose against LeBron, bro.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero would have been out there clipping shit. You thought that little?
I agree.
Bro.
I agree. A lot of the whole because I'm hearing some of the media is just like, see, we told you that the Celtics were just. I'm like, really, the Celtics were a better team? I'm like, let's be real. Miami didn't have everybody. Miami did not have everybody on their team. They literally only had Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo.
This feel like you remember the year the Warriors' first ring, right? When the Warriors played LeBron without Kyrie and Kevin Love. This what that shit felt like.
Yeah, essentially.
This shit felt like they jumped Jimmy Butler. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Warriors they jumped LeBron, bro. Them motherfuckers out there shooting shit. Draymond was playing great defense at the time. Like, he wasn't trying to kick people in the nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this was pre-nut kicking Draymond.
That's before they won a ring. That was their first ring. They jumped LeBron. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Nobody don't care. I told the Warriors fans straight up. I'm like, y'all won, congratulations, but y'all jumped LeBron. Let's be clear. Let's be fucking crystal clear. Y'all jumped that man. He had nobody. He had nobody help. This is like when he went and played the Spurs, your favorite team. They jumped LeBron back when LeBron was the third year in the league. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So you what? So we're thinking what? You or at least you Warriors in
for 6.
6?
Just because I'm leaning more towards 5, but like I said, the last time covering for 6, we just fucking shit the bed 2 games against the fucking Celtics. My prediction would have been right. Like, Jimmy need help, bro. Like, oh God, this shit's pissing me off so much right now.
Be on the lookout. You might be in the next couple of years. Be chilling with Joel Embiid on your team.
Nah, fuck no. We need somebody that's not gonna get hurt all the fucking time. I do think we need a big. Everybody think we need like another scorer.
I think you're confusing Joel Embiid with Anthony Davis.
No, Joel Embiid be hurt all the time too. Them 2 motherfuckers is like twins. Twinsies. Twinsies. Motherfuckers be hurt the same time all together. Hey, look at Joel Embiid shit. He always hurt about something, and then like a stretch of games.
But you can admit a healthy Joel Embiid is
he's the
among
best
the
player.
best.
Should have won MVP this year. Joel Embiid should have won MVP this year. Just like Tom Brady should have won MVP fucking goddamn this year too.
Yeah.
It was the exact same type shit, but at the exact same time, Tom is more pliable than Joel. But my problem is with Miami, I understand about the scoring part as a starter shit, but I'm like, look at our fucking bench, bro. Like, if we keep UD to get rid of Twin, you know what I'm saying? Like Marcus Morris.
You would have to give up quite a bit to Philly for Joel Embiid.
Like,
you might have to give up out of value.
I don't mean give up to get him.
I feel like I'm
not speaking in the fact of trying to get Joel.
I'm saying if you had to get Joel, you'd have to give up probably a pick or 2.
I don't want Joel. Like, Joel doesn't fit our team mold.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm just saying the relationship between him and Jimmy Butler is well documented. That's what I'm saying.
That's cool. Jimmy like a lot of people. But that don't mean they fit on the Miami team and the Miami culture.
Also true.
You know what I'm saying? We got a whole culture, like defensively, all that shit, like hard work, all that. Joel got to come in talking about working out, lose weight type shit. Joel got like a Shaq in LA type mentality, low key.
Oh,
You know what
shit.
I'm saying? Like, motherfucker
Yeah.
be out there, he ain't fat and shit, but he just like on some fucking fat mentality.
I'm thinking Sunshine. I mean, if he was gonna choose, I know he was gonna choose the Celtics some way, shape, or form. In some smart ass way, he would say the Celtics in 4. Um Mad Sticks can't stand Warriors fans and stuff like that either. He's just like Chuck. So you're probably gonna pick the Celtics too. We'll have to ask him off of there. But for me, um, I think the Warriors having a couple of extra days of rest was crucial. Because they are an older team, and Boston and Miami, either one of them that would have came out of the East, or younger and endurance wise can be out there. I mean, Jimmy Butler could be out there for 48 minutes at any given time. You know, the man's endurance is unquestionable. But from there, it turns into, at least for the Warriors, it turns into one of those things of this team when gel, and it's not even just Steph and Clay and Draymond, even though those three are obviously the foundation and the legitimate um, reasons why this team is where it is. But with the emergence of Jordan Poole, with Kaminga, Moody, all of these guys, Wiggins, all of these guys coming up, showing out. National media, local media. I know everyone's been saying this team is poised to be very good for possibly even until after, even going on further into the future, even after Steph, Clay, and Draymond are no longer in a Warriors uniform. Probably retired. I'm going to. It's probably a safe assumption that Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green are going to retire Golden State Warriors. And they're all three of them are going to be lifers. All three of their numbers are going to be hung in the rafters. And they will be immortalized as Warriors and only Warriors. But the Warriors also look good to the point where they're going to be, just as good. Once the three of them are gone. But I'm gonna pick the Warriors mainly because of I'm a little confused on the discussion of Steph, his legacy. I feel like it's unquestionable right now. I think he's already a top 10, and next week I'll give you my full on top 10 as well. So will Kay, and we'll try and see if we can get Mad Six and stuff like that. But we're going to give you guys our top 10 players of all time. My list is obviously based on players that have revolutionized the game the most, not just putting up the stats, but doing everything that there is to be considered great. So we'll give you guys that next week. But I'm going to pick the Warriors in 6 because I'm going to actually put some respect on the Celtics. The Celtics they're a legitimate team. And they're a legitimate threat. And I mean, this could turn into something, a rude awakening for Warriors and the Warriors fans alike. Could be, but we don't know. Game 1 of the NBA Finals starts tomorrow, Thursday, the 2nd. So everybody's going to be watching that. You guys know where to follow us on all the social medias and everything else like that. The JAFFO's AP. No, we're back here. Get back in there. I was about to end the show for a second, but I was telling him next week or one my pick was the Warriors in 6. But I was saying mostly for Steph's legacy, because I'm still confused on how he's not considered a top 10 player of all time. And I also said that we would.
That's just because people just want to make a story, bro. There's no got not. I'm be honest, not trying to refute your points, but like honestly, bro, Steph's legacy is already cemented. Like Steph could lose this shit.
You think he can lose and still be cemented as a top 10?
Steph changed the game of basketball, bro. He completely changed. Like he modernized. Well, he pushed the change. I'll say that he was the last driving push to change, right? Like they started shooting threes during Jordan and Magic era, right? They started shooting,
but it was nowhere near at the efficiency.
And then the game, the big man was more of a threat. Like you had big man that was like big. You know what I'm saying? Like 7-footers. You got 7-footers still, but like they still were like heavier. You know what I'm saying? Muscle, like heavy guys. You know what I'm saying? And they were more of a threat in the game. Kobe's era, same thing, but it started to phase out a little more. Like that's why Pau Gasol was more important than Andrew Bynum because the game was starting to change. That's why when Miami came around, the 5 was Joel Anthony, but for real, it was really Chris Bosh. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Tim Duncan. They moved into the 5. The game started changing. Like 4s became 5s. Dirk, same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the game just started to change because now you have to shoot more. Because the emergence of more shooters. Because it's more of a threat. Then it's a copycat league. You have the Warriors shooting all those shots. Steph shot 400 shots.
Well,
that's unanimous MVP.
Well, that's what I had talked to you like the last time we had brought this up. When I had said that obviously Steph, changed the game, but Clay aided in that because I had said that they're the best shooting duo of all time, and changing the game in the fact that you had 2 guys on one team that can shoot from anywhere on the court, literally anywhere on the court, even half court, and make it with ease. They can literally put up 30 whenever they want or more. And sometimes they'll put up those 30, 35 points in 1 quarter. So when you have the threat of 2 guys being able to shoot the lights out, you got to be able to keep up with that. And the only way you can keep up with that is by matching threes. And, again, change the game of how people play the game nowadays. You have to have that shooter. If you don't have that 3-point shooter, it's over.
Yeah, but every era had 2 people on each team that played similar styles. Like when Kobe was crazy 8 and he was dunking on everybody, you had Shaq dynamic as. You know what I'm saying? You had Jordan, who was a defensive player of the year type shit. You had Scottie Pippen, that was guarding the best player. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But then you had 2 players that played the same way. Like when LeBron was in Miami, you had LeBron and D-Wade. That was the end of D-Wade's like, I'm gonna be aerial type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the end of that. That was the last little bit in that cup. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So D-Wade was my favorite player after Shaq, bro. I'm telling you, like that was the last little bit of that cup. You know what I'm saying? That's why he became Father Prime after LeBron left. So it was a whole thing, though. Like every era has 2 people that does similar shit, like Steph and fucking Clay. Like you're saying, they both changed the game because they were shooting, but Steph isn't as defensive as Clay. So
no, I think that's actually an almost forgotten aspect of Klay Thompson's game that for some reason, for me, it's people don't talk about Klay for his I'm like, dude, do y'all not forget that Klay is a very good defender, insanely good defender. He's almost a better defender than he is a fucking shooter. Yeah, but even then, so what? People saw that and they're like, "Oh, he can't be a good defender."
No,
anymore,
not saying that. Not that. It's just more the fact of you got 2 leg injuries. You're not gonna move the same, bro. Like that's just all that is to it. Like you're not gonna be the same person you once were.
From what I've seen, Clay is still playing some pretty good fucking defense.
Not saying he's not gonna be able to. That's not what I'm saying. He's just not gonna be the same play he once was.
Yeah.
He's gonna be off a beat, but I mean, he's gonna still play good basketball. He still has that IQ. He's still an NBA champion. You know what I'm saying? Like he still knows how to win.
From Hall of Fame defense to elite defense. That's what he downgraded to.
Well, I wouldn't say Hall of Fame. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that. Let's slow down.
I was one of the people. No, I was actually one of the people who thought that at some point in Clay's career, he was going to get an all defensive team or a defensive player of the year at one point. I so heartily thought that.
Do you understand how many people that play defense in the NBA?
I completely understand that. But before, especially the major knee injury that basically took Clay out, especially during like the first and second rings, Clay's defense was on par, if not sometimes better than Draymond's defense. And he won defensive player of the year twice.
I feel like I was a little like Steph getting steals, averaging like that 1 year he averaged like what, a steal and a half or like 2 steals a game. That was system. That was motherfucking system. Draymond. Like,
system or not, they fit into the fucking system, and it turned them into what people are gonna call the team that revolutionized the game.
Yeah, but bro, I hear all that. But at the same time, I seriously believe
fading in and out,
a lot of that.
I'm gonna read this Mountain Mike's ad real quick. What started as a single pizza restaurant with a casual, family-friendly atmosphere has since grown into a leading pizza brand. From the very beginning, we aim to provide the highest quality pizza using only the freshest and finest ingredients available. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be. Shout out to Dave and the crew out there over on Sunrise Boulevard. Go to your local Mountain Mike's. You want to watch any type of sports or anything else like that, that's the place to be. Have a good pitcher of beer. Enjoy big-ass pizzas with family. Mountain Mike's is where it needs to be. Before we get out of here, you guys already know the social medias. The JAFFO's AP, Alpha, PvP for Prenated Press Productions. Go follow Logical Census Podcast as well. We had a conspiracy theory episode last night, and we're going to do a part 2 next week to get a deeper dive because AC could only be around for an hour. So we're just going to go into a part 2 and have a deeper dive into it next week. So be on the lookout for that. For us, next Monday, be on the lookout for that again. We're going to have a whole lot of things to talk about because probably 2, 3, maybe even 4 games. The game 4 might be going on by that. No. Thursday, Friday. We might be at game 3 by Monday. So by Monday, game 3 of the NBA Finals and stuff like that, we'll be discussing all that kind of stuff. And then football's going to be starting up real soon. Lamar Jackson still hasn't gotten a contract. That's interesting. See what happens with him and the rest of the league as we get closer and closer. It's officially 99 days until the NFL season starts up again. And we will be covering it all as well as San Jose State football. Every home game that they have, we will be there in some way, shape, or form, whether it's one of us, whether it's 2 of us, whether it's 3 of us, whether it's 4 of us, whether all the entire JAFFO army shows up to a San Jose State game. Go ahead.
We're not going to talk football at all? The Bucks just got a King Hicks, bro. We're not going to talk about football at all?
Well, I figured at the time that we've gone right now.
Oh, shit, my bad.
We're like, damn, we've almost gone 2 hours now. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Monday, well, there'll be a whole lot more to talk about. Like Hicks is now a Buck. Yeah, I guess that's news.
What?
I'll leave Kay nice and upset going into Monday, and we'll have a nice conversation on Messenger.
We've got even more better than you now. I'm trying to figure out the fuck is y'all talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen of the JAFFO Army, we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us on this lovely Wednesday. Take care of each other. It's been real for myself, JP, for Country K, for Sunshine, for Matchsticks, for everybody in the JAFFO Army. Love you guys. And deuces.
Aloha.